I am Sarah Beshin, and this has been my experience thus far with the coronavirus pandemic. I have been in my apartment in Vermillion, South Dakota. I'm with two of my roommates, Lexi and Sid. One of our other roommates moved out. She works on the COVID floor of Avera McKinnon Hospital in Sioux Falls, so she decided to move back in with her parents for the time being. Right once spring break started and there were warnings being put out to start social distancing, I felt as though as an aspiring journalist it's important to practice what we preach. If we're writing stories about how important it is to social distance and why that will flatten the curve, I think it's also important that we practice those things as to not be hypocritical and set an example for those who aren't taking those precautions. To pass the time in quarantine, I actually have done a lot. I've started a YouTube channel, which I have been kind of hesitant about starting since this past summer in September, and then I finally just decided that now's a good time. I have free time, so why not bite the bullet and get started? I've been taking my dog on lots of walks. We've been going on a lot of walks together as roommates. This past weekend it was my roommate Lexi's birthday, so we had a celebration for that, just us roommates in the apartment. I think that that's one of the hardest things about COVID because it feels like it's taking away all of these like major life celebrations. I'm not getting to go home for Easter, and that was the first holiday that I've ever missed celebrating with my family. My best friend since I was born, her birthday is coming up this week, and I'm not going to get to celebrate with her, which is breaking my heart because that's something we've talked about, her 21st birthday, something we've talked about for as long as I can remember, because it's a big day, it's a big deal. You're finally fully an adult, and it just makes me sad to know that I'm missing all of these fun life events. It feels like life is kind of passing by as I'm sitting in my apartment, trying to find creative ways to pass the time. The world is still turning and people are still growing older, and relatives are getting sick and I'm not getting to see them. And I haven't seen my immediate family in since January. Since my grandpa passed away in January, it was the last time I went home because I had in the back of my mind, Easter's coming. I'll just go home for Easter. And then this started, and it just didn't seem like... In the Midwest, we feel like we're in a bubble. So it just didn't seem like we were going to get affected here because we never really do. Not a lot of things affect us as far as, worldwide crises go. The Midwest is kind of a bubble. I just kept thinking, I'll go home for Easter or I'll get to go home soon, and I didn't get to. My little sister turned 18 in December, and she has a bunch of lasts coming up, and I wanted to be there for all of them as much as she wanted to be there, obviously, and so she's not getting to have a commencement ceremony or her senior prom or her senior dance recital that I was going to be in attendance at for all those things. And as a big sister, I wanted to be there cheering her on through all of it. I've talked to my mom about it, and she just constantly says that she's relying on her faith to get us through this, which I think is what a lot of people are relying on these days. Overall, I'm hopeful that this will be over soon, as long as everyone continues to take social distancing seriously and really just put forth the effort to fight this. There is not a light at the end of the tunnel yet, but there will be soon. I'm excited for that day to come, and until then, I'm just gonna keep my hopes up and keep my head high and just hope for the best.